There's one solution that can make everybody happy. If Nikita gets on a horse, paints half his face blue, and gives a Braveheart speech to everybody that's ever going to play Escape from Tarkov and convinces them all not to cheat, and all of them go, you know what? Fucking
hell yeah!
You're absolutely right. Fucking Nikita Hart, we're never gonna do it. And then nobody ever has any sus issues because of sound or networking, whatever, and everybody's happy.
That's it. That's it. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the podcast, the show dedicated to talking about all the Pogcast things in life, like music, content creation, and video games. I'm one of your co-hosts, Jesse Kazam.
And I'm Giggles McGee.
Oh, I know better than to look at you. I messed up last week's intro, and so I was like, don't look at Veritas. And then I
can always see when I'm looking at your cam, which is looking at another cam, which I always know you're looking at me. So I'm
like,
just
you know where my eyes go to know that that means I'm looking at you.
Yep.
Oh, man.
God damn, dude.
So how you doing? Yeah, you said today's been rough?
Today was rough. Okay, so I've been playing...
Technical difficulties? Or just...
I mean, yeah, but no. Not on my end. I've been playing a type of track in Trackmania that is called either like an RPG or trial. Okay. So there's this track. If you want to YouTube it, you can search for World of Wampus, Wampus. It has 100 checkpoints.
Oh, we talked about this.
Yeah, and so I'm playing a version that has it split up into 4 different tracks.
Okay.
25, 25, 25. So I already did the first 3. The first 3 sections took me 20 hours.
Like
maybe
a cumulative of all the checkpoints of the first 3 sections.
Well, yeah. So when you start playing, here's the thing: when you start playing, you can't leave a track. You can't save your progress. So like, I did yesterday. I started playing like the last 25 checkpoints, and I got to checkpoint like 12 out of 25 in 8.5 hours. But then I had to leave the game running overnight so that I could start it this morning. Now, the last 3 sections all took 6 to 8 hours each.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
So I started up the stream today, and I got all the way to checkpoint 90. So there was 10 more. But every day at 1 o'clock, there's what's called Cup of the Day. So the developers choose one track that's like a community-made track that you can submit. And everybody in the world who wants to play competes. And so
that's cool.
There's 64 people in every division. So if you happen to be, let's say, 126th, you're going to be in Division 2.
Yeah.
You know, the best in the world, you'd be in Division 1. I'm almost like always Division 20 or 30 or something like that. Because there's usually like 2,000 or 3,000 people that compete. And it was one of my buddies who makes some of the best tracks ever. Today was the day, and I've been waiting, and it's such a sick track. So I'm like, I'm on checkpoint 90. But like, I want to play the track. I've been waiting like weeks for this.
Whoa.
So I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll just leave. And I'll have to do another. The next 8 hours is going to be faster. Like,
yeah.
Because a part of each checkpoint is that it's a puzzle. You have to figure out like, I need to backflip off of a thing and then bounce through the water onto my nose and then hit the ice and slide. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. So it would be faster, but I still gave up after a bunch. And then it was like 12:58, and I go to connect to Cup of the track of the day, and the join button's disabled, and I'm disconnected from Ubisoft. So I exit the game, I come back in, and it's like a Tarkov loading screen where it's just connecting. Oh, you can't connect. So I quit out of the 8-hour progress thing, and then I couldn't even play Cup of the Day. So it was all for nothing. And then I'm like, well, I can't fucking play the game. So maybe I'll give Tarkov a try. We get the podcast tonight. I'll get 3 of the worst raids instantly fucking garbage. I spawned in over I did 2 customs. I did 2 customs in a factory, 2 customs in a factory, and like a scav run or something. The first raid I spawned in over by the campfire, like the boat exfil.
Okay.
And I instantly ran to dorms. I opened up the second floor door, and a guy peeked out, shot me in the face. sick. So at this point, all I had was I had like a PACA and then an AK-74 stock. So that's what I took into the next one. And this was on factory.
Okay.
And I spawned in all the way near gate 1 or whatever, one of the locked doors, the original locked door, not the new one.
Yeah.
I ran forward. A dude came from like blinking light, came up that ramp, and I hit him. Like, I have a shitty base AK, so I'm like, pop. I hit him 3, 4, 5 times. He tags me. I'm out of fucking stamina or whatever, so I run into the back room. I do a quick reload, and he just sprints to me and kills me. And it's like, do a scav run. I kill a scav who was in a fight with another scav. So I'm like, first of all, I don't give a fuck about this wipe at all anyway. So I'm like, I'll just kill the guy. It's a coin flip, whether or not he was the aggressor.
Yep.
So I kill him, grab his stuff. All of a sudden, Tagilla comes sprinting over. And I'm thinking he's aggroed on me. Yeah. I don't know if he was or not, but I think he just fucking ran over. And then, like, by the time I had aimed and shot at him, I think he had kind of, like, stopped and wasn't going to shoot me. I don't know. But then I picked up and dropped, like, 6 different guns. Because they were all dog shit.
Yeah.
Scav guns, you know, I went through, like, the Vepr. I had both the Vepr 209, the 136, the Vepr Hunter. I picked up a Keter. Like, I just went through a bunch of different guns, and every time I was trying to peek him, but getting shot at by more player scavs. And then I died. And it was like, fucking, like, okay. Opened up Trackmania, and I loaded into the game, and I'm like, okay, sick.
Perfect.
Oh, yeah, an ADAR and a FAL. Went through pretty much all of that. Jeez. Dude, I'm sure. I don't know, dude. I'm sure part of it's that, like, I lost my mojo in the game.
Yeah,
but it just fucking. I'm back to like square one, where it just feels fucking impossible.
Yeah.
The only kill I got was on a scav who was like holding an angle on somebody else. I was 20 feet away, and I just dinked him in the back of the head.
Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna say it's a weird combination though. It's like I do definitely feel like the play style is evolving and is continuing to evolve. You know what I mean? And so like the longer you spend away, but there's certain amount of it that's just like dorms is kind of just always dorms, right? It's just like
the guy peeked out, and I peeked out, and I shot at him, and then he just killed me.
Yeah, so like I'm sure there's some amount of it that's like the game is changing and the more time you take off, but there's some of it that's not. Some of it's just like, yeah, like dorms is gonna be dorms. You know how to play dorms. You play 10,000 raids in dorms. You know what I mean? You know how to fight in dorms, and it's just like sometimes, it's been bad with like I know we talk about it every week. It's not anything new, but like the desync, some of the clips. I made a video about that Vibin clip that I sent that we talked about on the podcast last week about like, you know, that back and forth. And then
dude, like, Tarkov Twitter has been all about cheaters.
Yeah.
There was like 2 or 3 videos that Tweak did one Peg did one, and then all anybody's been talking about is cheaters.
Yeah, so I put that for later, but we can talk about that. So like a few videos it's definitely like an interesting uptick. Like some of the guys that have played that I watch, that I engage with, that play a lot, like the most, like the grinders, like one being like Desmond, who, I mean, like my man's got Kappa, like they've been saying like, yo, it's bad. And then like a few videos drop, which kind of make that much more accessible to everybody. You know what I mean? And then everybody, and then it's a lot of it's confirmation bias. I'm not saying the videos are bad. I didn't know if Tweak watched one. I watched One Pegs. There were a lot of like great points in there. One of the interesting points that One Peg makes that from his research or like talking with some of the people is that like apparently some of the larger streamers get like targeted by people like for trolls or like to troll them. You know what I mean? It's like the new stream sniping. Like it's so once again, I'm not trying to say anybody's right or wrong here. I have no idea. I'm stupid. I've every time I'm stupid. But like, it's almost like the new stream sniping. Like cheating is so easy in Tarkov that like to troll a streamer, you know what I mean? You can just like cheat.
You did air quotes, but for all the audio listeners, audio listeners, when he said cheating is so easy, he did air quotes. So everybody knows.
Thank God, dude. Thank God. So, which makes sense. Like, okay, so in my video, so I then did a video, which was hard because like I had this video planned out. I had the title written down. I had the script written. I just hadn't filmed it. The night that Vibin clip happened to me, I was like, a lot of my content is Lessons from Beyond the Grave. This is going to be a great opportunity. You don't often have two perspectives of your own death, right? The guy that killed you and yourself. I was like, this is going to be a sick kind of Beyond the Grave style video where I'm talking about desync. And I was like, dude, the perfect title is There Might Be Less Cheaters in Tarkov Than You Think. Because in that clip, I died and I went, that dude's cheating, Sheaf, run, that dude's cheating. Then I saw it was Vibin and I watched the clip back. But then I had already had this whole thing scripted out. The videos started coming out and Twitter was like imploding. And I was like, oh, damn. I was like, I need to kind of like rework the script of this video to like acknowledge that I'm not saying there are no cheaters and I'm not trying to like front as this BSG shill and saying Battle Eye's perfect. I'm just, the point of the video was to focus on maybe it's not always cheating. There are other things and, look at this and then judge for yourself. That's all I was trying to do.
Yeah.
But in the video, I kind of talked about how like it makes sense to me. I don't know if this is true, but it makes sense to me that larger streamers would get targeted. Because like the example I made was like, if everybody in the game gets cheated on 1 in every 10 raids, some people might think that's really bad. Some people might think that's tolerable. Some people might think that's not a big deal. But if the 5 to 10 streamers with the largest viewerships get cheated on 8 out of 10 raids, then so many people think cheating is so bad and rampant. And then they go into the game with an attitude that it's rampant. And then you've got like normal Tarkov BS of like somebody could have just like accidentally shot you from across the map. You've got the bugs. Maybe you got no audioed. Maybe like a scav spawned inside of you. Then you've got the net code and the desync and all of that stuff. And then you've got some legit cheaters. But you went into it with an attitude of like, I watched X streamer get cheated on 7 raids in a row. And it might have been actual blatant cheats 7 raids in a row. You're going to go into the game. You're going to call cheater every time. And then what's that going to do? It might push you to buy some RMT'd items or to cheat yourself because you're so convinced everybody can do it and it's so rampant and nobody gets banned. And so I was like, that kind of makes sense to me if that's true, if some of these bigger streamers are getting targeted because you can convince tens of thousands of people, then it's worse than it is if you do that. And that's unfortunate. It's
gross how often people actually have the excuse of, well, I feel like I can't compete, so I'm do it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
And that's their marketing. That is their marketing to a game that is as hardcore as Tarkov. Every time, every interview with a cheat developer, they're like, dude, it's so rampant. You know what I mean? It's this, that. It's like they are trying to convince you that you can't keep up unless you buy cheat.
Yeah, and it's not even just Tarkov. Like this is the thing. When I dipped my toes into speedrunning, and the one video that got me into Trackmania was all about the cheating scandals. Because back in the older version of the game, one of the most like noteworthy things that ever happened in the Trackmania community, which is sad, but it's also how like it came across my radar. Was how the like top 2-3 people who had like some of the most prestigious world records that had been fighting to get thousandths of or hundredths of a second at the time in that game, because there's no thousands. It was found out that one of them was using a macro to get like the perfect speed drift around a corner, and another guy was playing the game in slow motion. He was using Cheat Engine to make the game at half speed so that he could
like precisely.
Have twice as much.
Holy cow!
And it wasn't found out until, and this is everybody should go check out. There's a Carl Jobst video and Virtual, which is virtual but with a W. Those 2 videos about like the cheating Trackmania stuff are really fascinating, dude, because they figured it out because someone was working on a tool to be able to help like validate runs and be able to have like an input display so you can see what buttons people are pressing. And they looked at a few of the top players, and you'd see like normally you'd see them tapping like this, like left, like if they're on controller or even keyboard to try to just get if you're going around. If you're going around a really tight turn and you're on keyboard, it's either on or off, right? It's not analog, it's digital. So you have to like tap it. And you could see this guy's was like, like,
oh my God.
And they're like, it was twice as much. And then they looked at a bunch of people, and a few people admitted to it, a few people didn't. But like,
holy cow.
And the justification that so many of the people that were caught that I think like 80% of them admitted to it, and then a few people didn't. But their justification was like, I had been competing and grinding and spending thousands and thousands and thousands of hours on a single track to try to beat a record, and I would get it perfect, and it wouldn't be enough.
Damn.
So
And
you
they
have a
feel the
cheater
only
trying to
way.
compete with a cheater, trying
Yeah.
to compete with a cheater. Now, one of the most recent videos was the best thing ever that Virtual did, which is basically how real players fucking demolished the cheaters, because it was found out that those guys had essentially played perfectly, but they used cheats.
Yeah.
And then some of the best players in the world, after those had gotten removed, grinded it down to even faster than the cheaters.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
That's
so
insane.
it's pretty epic. But that's just a common
Yeah.
theme. And from all the cheater
Yeah.
videos from Tarkov, it's always like, well, you know, I couldn't actually play the game. It wasn't fun. I only have so much time, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna do X and Y.
100%, dude. And that is what they want you to believe. That is their marketing strategy, is to convince you you don't really get banned. It's the only way. And it's definitely, like, to your point, you're absolutely right. It's definitely not a Tarkov only thing. Other games, like a lot of MMOs, like RuneScape had RMT really bad. A lot of the guys I was talking to, like WoW still struggles with it. Those are games where it's the same thing. If you're a new player coming in, so something like World of Warcraft and Tarkov share this one specific thing in common, among other things. But like, I get people coming all the time and be like, "Hey, do you think Tarkov is worth getting into at this point, or is everybody too good?" You get some people that come in at the end of a wipe and be like, "You think it's worth starting right now, or should I wait for the wipe?" But even right now, I've got people coming in and being like, "The game's not even out." You know what I mean? There's like so much left out, and people are like, "Do you think it's worth it?" And it's the same thing with WoW. I don't want to play WoW because I would be overwhelmed. There's too many things to learn, and everybody's
so far
and people are
behind.
too good at all of those things. It would take me years to learn a fraction of the content, because back when those people were learning it, that was the only content. Nobody's gonna know. Like, this is a great example. I ask all the time, I'll be like, "Hey chat, how many times have you gone labs this wipe?" And it's like 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0. And I always say, I got the advantage of learning labs the first wipe when it was free and nobody knew how to min-max it. I just grinded labs nonstop. That wipe, I didn't play anything other than labs, almost. Like probably 10 or 20 raids on any other map. Labs was so fun back then. It was all I played. Now it's like the metasphere for sure. But when I play it, I can at least hold my own because I know the map well. But other people don't get that experience. So I share that. So it's definitely not an exclusive to Tarkov thing, but that mindset 100% is a huge motivator. It's like, I'm behind, there's a lot to learn. I could just buy some money, or I could just buy some gear, or I can even just download the cheats. And it's brutal because people are succumbing to this really good marketing, but that's what it is that's exactly what they want you to believe. And so yeah, man, I really don't know, man. I've heard, like, I continue to plead I continue to plead ignorance. Like, I just don't know. That is always permanently going to be my stance. However, I have seen I've been watching streamers, and I've seen a lot of clips from a lot of people that I trust. Like I to the point where I'm almost like wondering if guys like Desmond, even, which just is getting like targeted. Like he sends me just in Discord DMs, and he's just like running, it's pitch black, and then like so much damage, like 4 or 5 shots worth of damage just goes boom on him before you hear any shots. Like he'll just be running, and up in the corner, like before he actually starts, like ooh ah ee
You'll
ooh
see
ah,
the damage.
it'll be like head, arm, stomach, up there, and then he'll like trip, and it'll all apply. Then you hear a shot, and then he falls over dead, and he goes cool, and he'll just like boom 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 clip.
And it's like some standard account user with a Discord
Dude,
name, or
I watched Deadly Slop. Deadly, like, he tweeted the other day that he was like, from my experience, it's the worst it's ever been. I watched Deadly get cheated on. Like, I think there's a new teleportation one.
and Deadly is like one of the most even-keeled, even-headed,
100%, and one of the least likely to call cheats. He'll just be like, GG's, you know what I mean? Or he'll like make a meme.
His chat will say that was definitely a cheater 1,000 times, and he'll disagree with them 998 times.
100%. And I was watching one day. I was watching him the day that he ended up tweeting it's the worst it's ever been, and he got straight up legit cheated on like 4 or 5 times in one stream, which for a guy like Deadly is a lot. And I mean, I was literally like, he would clear an area and then he would turn around and then you'd hear a footstep behind him right where he cleared and he would die. And it was like the dude just teleported to him and killed him. It was insane. I don't know if they're coming up from the map. I don't know if they're teleporting. I don't know if they're flying, but like it happened to me and Desmond. Desmond died and he was like, I think that guy's cheating. And I was hearing him running above me at interchange. And then all of a sudden I heard a footstep swivel. He was above me. All of a sudden I heard a swivel and I peeked the corner I had just peeked. And the guy was sitting with his back to me down low. And I was like, what? And I just fired and killed him. And he had like, we were 2 minutes into the raid. He had like 6 tags on him and 4 dudes worth of loot. And I was like, what the hell? It was crazy. So it's hard, man. I don't know. I have been told, I don't know if this is true. I've been told that people like the guys like see that they can see stuff like Sherpa tags or emissary tags and they try to avoid those people. So I don't know if that's true or not, but like it's been rough because as per previous conversations we've had, it has at least anecdotally felt like the desync has been pretty bad this wipe too. And that is such a recipe for disaster. If the cheating is worse and the desync is worse, it feels like you get cheated on every single raid. You know, it's just like, at least maybe not cheated on. It feels, a better way to put that is, if the cheating is a little bit worse and the desync is a little bit worse, it means a significant increase in the amount of times you die. And you're like, I feel like I didn't have power over that.
Yeah.
That's a better way to put it. Yeah. Is that it's just like now we're at like 50, 60, 70% of deaths. You're just left feeling like you had no power. And somebody that maybe isn't super versed in desync might call all of those cheats. The people who are super versed in desync and all this kind of stuff might just say it's bad desync. But either way, what's happening, the net of all this is that players are just feeling more and more powerless when it comes to how they die. And it's like, rip. You know what I mean? We had another experience with Valiant where like he died and he sent me the clip. We were playing together. He sent me the clip and he was like, that guy's cheating. He was like, look at this. And the dude just like swung out, one tapped him and he was behind cover. And then I was like, Valiant, you should watch that from my perspective. From my perspective, you're literally just standing still. Like you're not even moving. But he was behind cover on his perspective. We didn't even have the perspective of the guy that killed him. I was just like, from my perspective, you're standing still. From your perspective, you're behind cover, and that guy was, it was just, I don't know. It's rough out there right now.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't read any of the comments on other people's Twitters, and I've been so disconnected from Tarkov, thankfully, for a few months now.
Yeah.
So what I saw was a bunch of big name streamers all saying the cheats are really bad. Yeah. I'm like trying to scroll through it. It's been a few days.
Yeah, it's been a few days.
And I have like a million fucking things in my Twitter feed. But I was going to try and see who some of the names were. But yeah, it only stuck out to me because when I'm scrolling through and I see streamer that I never see complain about anything being like cheaters is a problem. Scroll down 10 tweets, a different streamer from the same day complaining about cheaters. Scroll down a couple more pages, a different streamer from yesterday saying cheaters are such a big problem. Now I know some of it is like the echo chamber of the more streamers talk about it, the more viewers talk about it in other people's streams. And
that is a very unquantifiable thing. How much of it is what percentage of it is real and what percentage of it is the echo chamber where people, say it's worse and other people say it's worse and then other people agree and then people disagree. And oftentimes people disagreeing pushes people to dig their heels in further to a belief system. And so, you know what I mean? So then you get people who are even more frustrated and maybe even be louder about it. And it's hard to tell how much of it's real and how much of it's fake, but it definitely feels rough. And I'm beginning to like, whether it's cheaters or desync, I'm beginning to try to empathize a little bit more with like, holy cow. Like if you're new to the game right now, and I mean, if it's your first wipe, it basically doesn't matter how good you are at video games. You're probably going to have a really low survival rate. If it's your first wipe and you're learning Tarkov, in a perfect world with no desync and no cheaters. You're just gonna die a lot, right? You don't know what the hell you're doing.
My survival rate this wipe, I've gotten to like level 7 or something, is probably 5%.
Yeah, and I was like, man, if you're new right now and you've got, and you like start following some streamers and you start to get into Tarkov Twitter and you're seeing all this and you're dying a lot when you felt like you're behind cover or this, that, and the other. Like, I'm starting to empathize a little bit with like, man, it's not feeling like a hardcore game. It's feeling like a one, what's the game with the dude in the
Russian roulette?
No. Yep. What's the game with the dude in the pot with the hammer? He's trying to
getting over it.
Yeah, it's starting to feel like that, where it's like a game engineered to frustrate you, and that's the funny part. You know what I mean? Like,
oh my god, you know what I need to do? This would probably get more views than any of my videos. Before I just have you played Getting Over It?
No, but I've watched a pretty decent amount of content.
You've seen like the narrator.
Yeah.
The narration is a huge part of it. He's just like, suffering is a blah, 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 blah. All while you're doing the most fucking annoying bullshit ever. You get all the way up. He's been silent for like 5 minutes. You get all the way up. And then as soon as you fall, there's some sort of logic trigger that's like, ooh, wow, losing progress really sucks, doesn't it? And he talks for like another 2 minutes. Like, will you
shut
just
up.
Edit together Tarkov gameplay
with that narrator?
With the same narrator.
That's
Someone's going to do that and they're going to get... I was just looking, and this is just another fucking piece of depressing bullshit. One Peg's video, BSG about cheating, has more views than my AI video from 7 months ago. It's...
Yeah.
But dude, we love your Tarkov educational well, then fucking watch it.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's the people that say that do watch it. It's just that the masses, the hive mind, bro,
that's
love
me screaming to everybody else.
Love the negativity for sure. For sure. And not even to say that, not to say that One Peg made a video for the sake of negativity. It's just people are drawn to that type of content. Hell, I've even tapped into that a little bit. Like the title for my video that came out today was like, what the hell happened to Tarkov or something like that. It's just a highlight video, but it was,
and I actively tried to not make content like that too. Like, it got to the point where, because there was, despite people saying that I'm either a BSG shill or I'm
way too cynical and you should stop playing. Yeah.
If you look at all of my content in like the most recent history in the last couple of years, actually probably all of my content, it's always been, here are all of the things that I'm critical about, and also why it's understandable that these things haven't been done, and also why they should fix it, and also why I have confidence they're going to fix it. And it's always both sides.
Yeah. People want to get you in a gotcha. You're playing a game, sometimes even a different game than Tarkov. You're trying to keep up with chat. You're trying to keep a stream, up. Maybe you're frustrated you died, and then they come in and they're like, what do you think about cheaters? And it's like they're trying to get you in a gotcha, so you give some like super quick opinion or just like, and then they're like, oh, this guy sucks. But all of the content you make, everything that you make that you script and put your thoughts into is 100% is exactly what you said. It's representative of both sides. I feel like it's a fair 100%.
And most of the people that defend BSG in most of the content, I find tends to kind of be like, it's closer to on the shill side of things, but I don't mean shill. Yeah. I mean more like they're doing it so that they can't be accused of never giving them the benefit of the doubt. So they're like, we're gonna assume that they know and that they're working on it, and those guys are great and we love them and blah blah. And it's like, but like, why do you think that? Yeah. Like they've given us so many reasons not to think that they're on the right track and they're gonna do the right thing. So that's why I interview Nikita. That's why I talk to all these different people and talk to developers, and you know what I mean? Like,
and those things aren't mutually exclusive. You can't be frustrated about the game state. Like, people want it to be either you're frustrated about the game state or you're like, they've got it under control. Yeah. And those things aren't mutually exclusive. It can be both. Like, you can be like, like that was what my video was. It was like, hey, I know I'm not a developer and I don't understand these things, and there could be legitimate reasons, but like this is terrible. This is a terrible experience. Those things are allowed to coexist. I can be frustrated when I die to crazy desync and still enjoy playing the game when it's not like that, and still, you know, hope that they're doing the best that they can, but also kind of be a little cynical that maybe there is, like, you know what I mean? Like it's not binary. You know what I mean?
When people say this is unacceptable and it should be fixed, and you know, like it should be fixed in the next week, and so many. That's another thing I hate, is that so many of the videos say how busted things are. Because I watched. So first I watched when I was eating lunch, because it was, you know, the day of the podcast. I watched One Peg's video on the movement stuff, which we'll talk about after, and then I watched your video that you had just recently put out. And one of the things I think that One Peg had said was, like, they had fixed before a ton of movement issues. So I'm you know, I'm sure they're gonna fix this soon. And at the same, it's like, I love One Peg, but why the fuck bother? like him saying that to me kind of seemed like he just was trying to cover his bases. Like, I don't think there's any reasonable, like, there's any actual reasonable reason to think they're gonna fix it, because bunny hopping has been in the game for fucking 4+ years.
Yeah,
they've never once fixed it. They've said they fixed bunny hopping or like jumping, but I was talking about this earlier. I genuinely think that they mean something different.
Yeah, I do too, actually.
Because they've multiple times been like, we fixed bunny hopping.
Yeah.
And then it's like, raid 1 of the wipe. I go run and I jump, and it's like the boost jump.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's what we all mean when we say bunny hopping.
Yeah.
Is like the whole, you can boost jump, the constant like chaining together.
Yeah.
And they've never once fixed it. So when I hear someone who's like critical for some of the right reasons and some of the wrong reasons, and then it's like, but don't worry, I'm sure they're gonna fix it.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Like, fuck, no, they're not.
I see what you're saying.
They're not gonna. Well, I hope I'm wrong.
No,
but like,
I know, and I think
they haven't earned the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
With that.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying, for sure. So yeah, like we'll talk about the movement stuff in a second, but yeah, so like the cheater thing has just, like, I guess that's where we're at, is like the community's frustrated. Obviously, it's hard in some cases and impossible in other cases to tell the difference between, you know, like cheating and desync, and then you have what I would at least anecdotally call a pretty significant uptick in what we can say is blatant cheating. Like some of those crazy clips where people are teleporting, they're flying in, they're, you know, shooting you with, like, you know, when you like see the tracers from like 200 meters away and they're full autoing you, and you get to the end screen, it's like 6 headshots. You're like, yeah, okay. You know, with M856, you know what I mean? It's like, sure, bud. So I don't know, man. It's like, it's a hard place to be, because it's a self-perpetuating thing where it's like, people ask, you know, what do I think about the cheating situation? And it's like, I don't know. I don't really run into them a lot. I don't know if that's because I got my special green name or just because I'm lucky, but I'm just trying to vibe. And then people start to argue about how many there is. And then people start to argue about how effective BSG is doing. And, you know, when, you know, they're on one hand, they're doing great, and it would be way worse without all their work. And then on the other hand, it's like, they haven't tried this. And then I thought it was funny. I threw it in my video, but like the thing people always say is like, just use Valorant's anti-cheat. Just use Valorant's anti-cheat. And I was scrolling through TikTok the other day, and literally I watched like a 3-minute video of this dude. He was like cheating in Valorant, had the overlay. He was like one tapping everybody through walls. And he was like, you know, Discord and bio, you know, this is a new account because they got our last one. He's like, I've been doing this 3 days. And I don't know if I should trust him if he's been doing it for 3 days. It could have been a freaking Photoshop video or whatever. But like, it was just funny because like when the cheater conversation comes up, people are always like, use Valorant's anti-cheat, use Valorant's anti-cheat. And I was like, dude, I don't.
Dude, there's so many aspects of that. So one of the things I was going to say is part of the reason why I had so many fucking mental health issues is because of the repetition and the circular bullshit.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I could literally write down 7 different very specific opinions and responses on a piece of paper, put it in an envelope, let the thing seal it and put it up here, and then we could talk about cheaters. And then I guarantee you 10 of the things that would have been said, I'd pull out the thing and it would have been exactly what I wrote down.
Yeah, borderline verbatim.
Some of the people are saying it's just the same thing. Oh, well, I haven't seen any cheaters, or I've seen maybe one sus person this whole thing, so I don't know, seems fine.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I see cheaters in every raid, blah, blah. And it's like every single time it's the same thing. And the fact that anybody takes the time to type out, like,
yeah,
oh, well, I haven't had any. It's like, it's like fucking Groundhog Day, dude. It's like, yeah, no shit. Everybody in the Tarkov community, I wish you would know that 98% of the things you are thinking you're gonna say has been the most common, obvious thing for 7 years straight. Like, it's the same stuff. Like, so I'm supposed to engage with somebody who says there's so many cheaters everywhere. And then what am I going to say that's not going to then either contradict with them or the next person that says, I haven't seen any cheaters.
Exactly.
But then this streamer said there's so many cheaters. And then someone else is going to say, well, why don't they just use Valorant's anti-cheat? And then without, I don't even ask leading questions. I take a step back. I know exactly what they're thinking. I know exactly what they're going to say, but I give them the benefit of the doubt. And I say, well, what do you mean by that? And of course, other people are like, what the fuck? You know fucking what he means, dude. What do you... I know what he means. But I need him to say it. So that I can... I don't want to make assumptions. So when they're like, oh, well, it has like a rootkit or like root level
kernel,
access to API. Kernel, whatever they read on fucking Reddit 2 years ago from some dude's forum post. And then, and of course, somebody in chat just said, rootkits are never the solution. I don't think he realizes that Tarkov is a fucking kernel level anti-cheat. In very much like 98% of the definitions of Valorant anti-cheat apply to BattlEye. The only difference is that when the process starts, one is when you boot your computer, and the other is when you boot Tarkov. So and now you have the whole ethical discussion about like whether or not you want one's a Chinese company and one's a Russian company. Tell me which one of the ones that is the most controversial to let have access to your personal information, blah blah blah. The only difference is that Valorant's anti-cheat Vanguard has much more of a chance of catching some process hooks or whatever the cheats do as the game is launching than BattlEye, which then has to kind of detect that as it's booting up and can maybe detect ones that connect or get going after the fact.
Interesting.
So you have a third of the people all saying there's no anti-cheat. Why don't they just have an anti-cheat? 1/3 of the people are saying, why don't they just have an anti-cheat like Valorant's? And then 1/3 of the people say, no, we don't want them to have kernel level access. That would be bad. And they're all fucking wrong and ignorant. And I have to sit here with the very limited knowledge. I'm not an anti-cheat expert. But I spent 42 seconds on Google, and I know that everybody is wrong. And it's so infuriating, dude. And I'm not saying, like, before anybody comes and says, this guy's arrogant and he just thinks he's right and everybody else is wrong and everybody else is stupid. Obviously, that's not the case. But when it comes to all these very specific bits about audio and about everybody's been saying, I got 3 comments in the last 2 days on my audio video being like, it has nothing to do with Steam Audio, dude. The problem is the game engine. You can't do it in Unity. Did you watch the section where I fucking did it in Unity? Like, nobody fucking does it. They're all so goddamn lazy. And again, when I say nobody, I don't mean literally nobody. I just mean the vocal minority of
100%,
idiots.
The idiots
which is
are
so
always
many
lazy.
more people in the Tarkov community than you would think. They're the ones that come in and are chatting in all caps. So that's why I feel like I'm fucking going insane, because I can't take anyone seriously. Because after I debunk everything, the next person that comes in and says, why don't they just have an anti-cheat like Valorant? I'm like, are you fucking with me, or are you just legitimately ignorant?
Or it's
can't
just
tell.
Oh, it's just the nature of live content. It's like you're never going to be able to catch everybody. Somebody's going to come in right at the tail end of the discussion and go, "Oh, are we talking about cheaters? Has he talked about why they don't just use Valorant's anti-cheat?" And you just can't.
There's already somebody who's ignored everything I just said, all of the caveats, everything you just said, all of the caveats, and they've already determined I'm arrogant, I'm smarter than everybody else, and that I don't listen to anybody else.
Yeah.
And that's what you signed up for as a streamer, dude, to be asked the same question over and over again.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not just being asked the same question. It's being asked the question, then you take months to understand all of these things and explain it to people numerous times and take 1,000 hours to put together all these videos to explain it. And then the people still come to you, don't want to watch your video because they want a TLDR.
Yep.
And then when you give them the answer, they don't believe you.
Yeah.
And then someone else comes in when you're 3/4 of the way through and says either the
original question again,
misunderstanding, or they say, "I just got here, Veritas, can you catch me up?"
Yep. Dude,
it's like people wonder why I'm fucking so grumpy when I was playing Tarkov. It's because the game would cuck me for 8 hours a day, and then 90% of the viewers that would roll up would be dropping this shit on me all day long.
Yep.
And all of the people that stuck around, or the 80 viewers that stay with me now and I play Trackmania, those are the only ones that were fucking sane.
Yeah. And it's, dude, and that's why, like, my position on everything is just like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, that's just where I put it. Because, first
Why
of
do you
all,
think everybody watches the tens of thousands of viewer streams? Because they all just go, I don't know, dude, fucking, let's just meme.
It's just like, because I don't, like, why don't they use Valorant's anti-cheat? I don't know. How similar is Valorant's anti-cheat to BattleEye? I don't know. Are they doing a good job? I don't know, man. Are they doing a terrible job? I don't know. Like, it's just, I just can't. It's just impossible. It's impossible for me to know. It's impossible for me to know the context. There's a lot of, like, actual stuff that I could learn about, like you've done about Unity or about BattleEye versus, what is it, Vanguard or whatever. But it's just like, I don't know, man.
But what if you do know?
That's what's hard.
Because there are things you know about.
For sure. Okay. So when people ask me
they're
about,
they're not necessarily the most popular buzz thing. Like, people, it's much more common for people to talk about AI and anti-cheat.
Yeah.
And
I do get caught
scabs
up in the AI one quite a bit when people are like,
Then it is when someone's like, dude, you can one tap level 6 armor with HP, whatever. You're like, no, that's not the case.
Yeah.
I know the ballistics charts. I've got a calculator or whatever. Like, you can, but if that was 98% of your chat interactions, wouldn't you fucking go crazy?
Oh, for sure. For sure. I mean, sometimes I still say I don't know, or sometimes I'm just adopting.
You just lie and you're like, I don't fucking know.
Sometimes I'll just lie and say I don't know, and I know. Or sometimes I'll just, I've been channeling, I don't know if Deadly got it from a TV show or if this is just like his saying, but I've been channeling it recently where it's just like, dude, just paddle your own canoe. Like, he says it all the time. And I've just been like, dude, people are like, yo, Steam audio sucks this patch. And I'm like, dude, turn it off, man. Have fun. Paddle, like, you do you, bro. I'll always be like, I turn it on. I think everyone should turn it on and give it a try. But
Jesse told me to turn it off.
But
dude,
you know what, buddy? Paddle your own canoe. It's just like yeah.
And that's my cross to bear, in that I can't. I'm sure it's some, like, neurotic thing that more therapy is gonna fix. But it's fucking the urge I have when someone comes in and says 2 + 2 = 5, and then someone responds with, no, dude, it equals 6. And then someone else is like, yeah, person 2 is right. And I'm like looking at my screen trying to play, like, oh god, oh fuck, oh geez, oh,
and
god.
even if you're like, oh, I just kind of think it's 4, everyone's like, what the hell, bro? Explain yourself. Yeah.
Oh god, yeah, no, that's
yeah.
Just don't read chat. Just be a streamer and just don't read chat.
Be a streamer and don't read chat. So that being said, I don't know, man. Again, so the cheating thing, dude. That's just where we're at. It's rough. It's in a weird spot, and I just don't know what to do. I don't know what to tell people. It's just like, I don't know, like but it definitely feels bad. I don't know if it's like a new script. I don't know if it's like a new exploit. I don't know if maybe in a week or two we'll see like a big band wave and it'll be better. but it did like
even if we see a new ban wave, you will never know if it's better.
Oh, for
because
sure.
Some people will have the placebo, and then a bunch of people will be like, "Oh, it seems better," and then the more people that say it seems better are going to be a little bit more reasonable.
For sure. But the hive mind does ebb and flow a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, we can definitely say, like you brought this up at the beginning, you were like, "Yo, I'm seeing everybody tweeting about it." Like, it's been really high before, where everyone's like, "Yo, I'm getting cheated in every raid," and then last wipe, it felt like it wasn't as bad. Not
what's
cheating,
the cause and effect?
Not cheating wasn't as bad, yes. But like less people were complaining about it vocally on all the platforms. And then right now we're definitely in an upswing. And it's hard to tell if that's because exactly placebo, streamers saying something, of people getting targeted, a few new scripts came out. Like, it's hard to say which of any of these things is causing that sway or that ebb and flow, but that's where
you know what the sad thing is I'm too ethical and honest to do the one thing that's the right thing. The best thing, here's my honest opinion. The best thing I could do for the Tarkov community right now would be download the cheats and do the whole don't take advantage of anybody, don't kill anybody, but as long as you could figure out who's cheating or use that information to watch people, to observe and do like a 6-month analysis on the cheaters.
Like an uncover.
That would be but I couldn't do that, right? It would destroy my reputation and all this stuff, but that's the only way anybody, BSG, any of the streamers, any of the community members, that right there, I honestly think that if I did an analysis over the course of 6-8 weeks based on fully cheating, so I had as much information as I could.
Yeah.
That would be the fucking best thing, because then we'd have a realistic picture and we'd know, is everybody fucking out of their mind? They're all blaming wrong shit. Is Battlestate lying to us? Is Battlestate not lying to us? And they're actually doing a much better job?
Yeah.
I don't know. But unfortunately, I can't fucking do that, and I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, of course. And it's and
I would make thousands of dollars from the fucking video too.
Yeah. And it's hard to tell, people, everybody wants to be that guy. Everybody wants to be like, "Yo, let me show you." You know what I mean? But it's hard to know who to trust. It's hard to trust. Like, literally, it's, once again, their whole marketing is that it's easy. So it's like, why would I trust you? Also, you're a cheater, so why would I trust you? I found it to be hilarious. Since I put out my video, by the way, I've had 20 plus people DM me and be like, "Yo, I saw the video, love the video. If you want to know firsthand what it's like, you can come with me into like an offline raid. I can show you some of the overlays. I can show you this stuff." And I'm like, "Did you just admit to cheating? Like, send me your in-game name so I can report you." What do you think? What do you think I'm gonna say here? Like, what made you think I was on your team from this video? There's so many people. I just respond with like, "Dude," and I had one dude. And this is why I would never trust anything you said. This is why if I booted up into an offline raid with you so that you could show me the cheats for educational purposes, I wouldn't trust you. Because he was like, "I know from firsthand experience what it's like to find, download, and use these overlays people are using." And my response was, "Did you just admit to being a cheater?" And his response was, "Nah, fam, I've never cheated in my life." And I'm like, okay. So yeah. So what, what is this conversation we're having here? You know what I mean? Like, what, are you you think you're going to be the hero of Tarkov and teach BSG how to do all this stuff? It's like, maybe, like you said, maybe that is the best way for somebody to go deep undercover. But it's like, I don't know, dude. So many people. I had people.
It's the right thing and it's also the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Like it's such a weird gray area that I'm not convinced that either I would believe, but also that the community at large, how that would be received, as unethical. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
I know that if I were to do it, it would be in a way this is a kind of a weird distinction here. But let's say theoretically, this is a really specific theoretical. Let's say you downloaded cheats,
okay,
and you ran them, and you had them running. But you know how usually a lot of the cheats have a UI with checkboxes, doing turn on aimbot. I've seen enough of those videos, right?
Yeah.
and let's say you turned everything off, but you had the cheat program running while you were playing the game, but you didn't use it. Is that unethical? See, to me, it's not having it installed. It's not running it. It's using it in a way that gives you an advantage in any way or any information or anything like that.
Yeah.
So, and it's because, and to continue the thought, right? That's because it's unfair and it gives you an advantage and it degrades everything for everybody else and blah, blah, blah. So technically, the way that I feel about it is like, if I were to go in there, never kill anybody, never take anything, and just be a cameraman.
Yeah.
Right? Like, use the fucking wall hacks as a fucking camera.
Listen.
Again, I'm not going to do it.
No, I know. It's one of those things where you would have every response to that possible. People would say, like, no matter what, whether it was you or Landmark or Pestily
or I'd be a hero
or whatever. Yeah, it was exactly. To some people, you'd be the hero, the Dark Knight, and to some people, you would be dead to them. You know what I mean? Because it's like, it's this.
Some people would equate it to cheating.
Yeah.
Like, directly, like in the same way, like the people who cheat in RMT.
Yeah.
And then other people would equate it to, I think, a less bad, but still bad ethically.
Yeah.
Like back in the day, all of the pistol glitch and the factory, you'd get in under the stairs and you'd be invulnerable glitch. And those people that would do videos that were like, I'm trying to help the community.
Yeah.
Let me make a video that's a fucking tutorial, that would also say everybody should do it because it'll put pressure on the developers.
Yeah.
That's objectively making everything worse for everybody.
Yeah.
And you're a fucking scumbag. And the reason why you're doing it is for clicks and for views and for money and for clout.
Yeah.
Not because you actually think you're helping the game.
Yeah.
See, I think that what I was talking about wouldn't be as bad as that.
Yeah.
I think that would have a worse impact.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but like, again, I'm not like defending it. It's just an interesting. This is the internal dialogue I have with myself. Like, fuck, I wish I could just do this so that I would know, but then obviously I can't do it. But then if you think about it, if I never got any benefit, whatever. But I just won't.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
You should watch. This was an interesting video because we had talked about this last time about how I've been watching Asmongold react videos.
Yeah.
One of the ones I watched yesterday was Asmongold reacting to a video called Expose by CoffeeZilla. Are you familiar with Ice Poseidon?
Not really, no.
He
I feel like
was
I've heard
a big
that.
He was a big streamer that I think he got banned maybe on Twitch back in the day. I actually only know about him because I had heard vaguely that he had been banned and he just seemed like a scumbag.
Okay.
And when I was at TwitchCon a couple of years ago, I was with Spinachy. I was with Ash and a few of her mods, and we were walking. We had been at the bar hanging out, and we were walking to this taco place. And this fucking douchebag with his backpack and a camera vlogging fucking walks into some other people and then walks into us. And it's fucking him. And he's like, fuck you, get out of my way. You know who I am? Like the biggest dickbag thing, the most egregious. And I'm like, wow, that was fucking Ice Poseidon. Like, what a piece of shit. But anyway, he straight up stole $500,000 from his fans. He minted an NFT after 2 weeks, boosted it up, and then he just rug pulled. And then when he was confronted, and he didn't deny it. He just straight up was like, "Oh yeah, dude, I'm not giving the money back. I'm just looking out for me." Like what am I gonna do? Give the money back? Like, no, obviously, I'm just looking out for me. And so one of the things that they talk about in that video is how, similar with like drug dealers, how they just do this. They do everything right, everything carefully for so long, and then they get more and more comfortable to the point where they're like they're out on the streets just like, "Yo, who wants to buy dope?"
Yeah,
and they're unapologetic. Yeah. And that's how I think so many of these cheaters are. They reach out to you like, dog, let me just fucking show you. Like, they're not worried about launching their game. You would think that the first time they launched their game after installing cheats, their heart would be racing and they'd be like, oh God, they're waiting for the fucking cheat screen, the ban screen to come up. And then it gets to the point where they're like, oh, just connect with me. I'll fucking show you all this shit, Like, they just get more and more comfortable. You get desensitized to it.
100%. 100%. So I don't know. And the other thing about it is that it's one of those things where, like we've talked about before, like what can BSG say to the community? You know what I mean? Like, Oh yeah, it's been really bad recently because of this very specific vulnerability. We're working to patch it. It's a Unity, working with Unity, this, that, yeah. Like, yeah, they're going to freaking say that in a podcast. No shot. You know what I mean? And it's like, I'm not saying that BSG is perfect or like everything they're doing is great. But what I'm saying is that like I can at least acknowledge that everything related to cheating and communicating the status of it to their audience is a lose-lose constantly. You know what I mean? It's like they
need to go the route of Hello Games. Did you see here I am fucking talking about the same like 4 YouTube channels. Internet Historian.
Of course.
The Ingoodening of No Man's Sky.
One of the best videos on YouTube.com.
What they did after they had one of the biggest, like arguably worse than fucking than what was the Cyberpunk, like almost worse than Cyberpunk, like potential, like just as bad almost as Fallout 76.
Oh yeah.
And then rather than add fucking 700 microtransactions and not fucking do anything, they put their heads down. They didn't fucking talk to anybody. They just turned the game 180 degrees, and the game's fucking amazing and it's thriving. And
for sure,
because they didn't have to explain. They did the whole show don't tell, but in the terms of development, like the best thing that Battlestate could do is just do everything they could, which I mean maybe they're doing.
That's the thing is that during the time that Hello Games was doing that, they were receiving the most hate because they weren't saying anything and their game was trash. So like it is literally impossible to know if that is happening and they're ready and they're working on some tools, man, to make this game ironclad and make it the best it could be. They're going to push the button and all the cheaters are going to die out.
Or but Hello Games didn't take 2 years.
Or they're doing absolutely nothing and there is no way. But that's what I'm saying is that it will never.
Well, there's an in-between.
We'll never know. Oh, for sure. There's a million in-betweens.
It's probably where they are, though. Like the most likely, if you look at like a
for
bowl,
sure,
right? Like a ball bearing could be anywhere, but it's most likely at the fucking bottom, at the resting point, which is they're doing everything they can and they're working with BattleEye to do everything they can, but it's an impossible uphill battle that they can never win.
100%. They've looked at the options. They're like, we could go this route, but we have to rewrite the code for 80% of the game. And we don't want to do that because we want to ship the game at some point. So like, it's not as simple as like, just do what's best for eliminating cheaters. Because what if what's best would take 2 years? You know what I mean?
The problem is, but their answer is like, when people complain is, we banned 30,000 cheaters.
Yeah, that is. So
look at us. We're doing everything we can. And it's like, well, that doesn't change the fact that every fucking death feels like a cheater.
That's a good point where like the communication they have had is more of just like, look at, we did this ban wave or we posted this ban wave or whatever. And that.
Imagine if Hello Games during that period was like, oh, well, we fixed this one bug.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Don't you fucking love us? We fixed these two. And they're like, well, but you didn't. It's still a single player game. It still has this bug and it still has this bug. So don't fucking give us the,
but
they're damned if they do, damned if they don't.
That's what I'm saying is like, once again, I'm definitely not saying they're doing everything perfect or that they're doing anything wrong. It's that I don't know. I can never know. And in some way, shape or form, they're damned if they do and damned if they don't in perpetuity. Like, you know what I mean? It's like the only thing is if at some point over the next few years, which I'm not even saying is likely or unlikely, the networking gets exponentially better and you just see way less blatant cheaters and like it just dies down to an acceptable, it dies down to a level where it's not, you know what I mean? Which I don't know if that's possible. I don't know if it's probable. I don't know if it's something they're working on. And I can at least understand that it's hard. It's a hard thing for them to communicate to the community about because you don't want to give these douchebags an inch. You know what I mean? You don't want to give them a hint. You don't want to, you know what I mean? You just,
it's the worst Punnett square you've ever seen where think about all the different variables. There are people who, there's their beliefs about what's going on. And then there's their like preferences when it comes to like software and ethics. There are people that are like, give me the most lockdown, rootkitted shit ever if it would fix all the cheats.
Yeah.
Make a hardware thing that would make it even more lockdown. Then people are like, I don't want any software running that has anything, blah, blah, blah. And then there are even more than that. But then those groups, those 3 plus, plus N, have people who experience cheats every raid, quote unquote. People who've never experienced a cheat any raid, quote unquote. I guarantee both of those people are wrong. And the people who say I've only experienced 1 cheat in 3 wipes, they're fucking clueless and ignorant. And they've probably been killed dozens of times by cheaters. They just have no wherewithal and no game sense to know what's sus and what's not. And then the other people who think that they've got the game sense to determine what's sus and what's not are fucking probably right 30% of the time.
Yeah.
So then you've got all of those 3 with 2 or 3 versions of each of them. No matter what battle state does, you're only gonna make 12.7% of the community happy, assuming you even do it.
I see what you're saying now. There's so many tree branches that even if you could guarantee 100% fix the problem, because there's so many branches, you'd only really convince a small percentage of those branches that the problem's been solved, and everybody else continued believing.
There's one solution that could make everybody happy. If Nikita gets on a horse, paints half his face blue, and gives a Braveheart speech to everybody that's ever going to play Escape from Tarkov and convinces them all not to cheat, and all of them go, you know what? Fucking hell yeah, you're absolutely right. Fucking Nikita Hart, we're never gonna do it. And then nobody ever has any sus issues because of sound or networking, whatever, and everybody's happy.
That's it.
So we need, and in that universe, we all have hot dogs for fingers.
Yeah.
And only 6% of the people listening to this have any fucking idea what I'm referencing.
What you're referencing. Yeah, man.
They need to put the code base on a fucking bagel.
On everything bagel. Holy cow. Why didn't we think of this before?
I'm out of breath from yelling.
Yeah, so I don't know. So play Tarkov if you want, don't if you want. You might get cheated on, you might get desynced, you might just die to a second guy that you didn't see and yell cheater. I don't know.
Just play Trackmania where the game has crappy net code, but it doesn't matter at all.
Just play, yes.
People complain about Trackmania's netcode, and that's the best thing, because all that means is that when you're in a live game, like Cup of the Day, the ghosts that you can't collide with of other people kind of tend to stutter a little bit.
If only. If
I'm like, oh, the game's got netcode issues, huh?
Let me introduce you.
I'd rather have netcode issues on the highway in real life than I would in Tarkov. Because at least I can steer the car in real life. I can't steer my character in the game.
Oh my god.
Sorry, I just had that was a little
that just caught me
a little mini rant and a joke.
Yeah.
Okay, one more thing. I actually went into fucking incognito VPN mode and spent about 20 minutes searching. I could not find a single website or Discord or anything advertising Trackmania 2020 cheats. Not one.
Wow.
Now, there are even websites for every game that are selling cheats, even if they're scams and fake.
Yeah.
There wasn't a single one for the latest Trackmania game, which blew my fucking mind.
Why doesn't freaking BSG just use Trackmania's anti-cheat? God. Unbelievable.
I know. Think they
I'm
have
just
one.
kidding. I'm just kidding.
I don't think they do. That's the crazy thing.
All right. So some of the other things going on in Tarkov. So the bee hopping thing, like you were saying, bee hopping is one of those things, though. Like exactly like you were saying, is that like people have different opinions on what it is. Like people talk about the CS:GO bee hopping. I've never played CS:GO, man. I've only ever played Tarkov on PC.
CS:GO bee hopping is the best part of CS:GO, and anybody that disagrees is wrong.
I'm not saying that I'm just saying people equate it to that. But like,
I know.
There's boost jumping, and then I think other people call other things bee hopping too. I've always called the boost jump bee hop, like you were saying. And you could always boost jump, but they've changed how it's done. So like it used to be you had to jump off a specific foot, like a timing thing. You know what I mean? Like that's how it was for a really long time in Tarkov, and then you could like chain it. Last wipe, it was just if you had been full sprinting for longer than a second, your jump would be the boost jump. Like 12.12, that was how it was. They changed it. And it was just like, at least it's consistent now. If you're, as long as you're full speed, you're going to get
easier to do.
Yeah.
But they said they fixed it.
Yeah, but it's not gone. Yeah. So what's happening now is not only is it back to timing, so you could miss the boost jump or you can get the boost jump. Your gun stays at the horizon while you jump, and you can shoot while you jump.
More than if you're just holding D and walking and you shoot, your fucking weapon sways more than if you're jumping boost sideways.
There's like a little bit but then it returns to the horizon and you can shoot and then you land. And it used to be last wipe, when you jumped, your gun would go down and to the left. Like you would, like when you jumped last wipe, you would point your gun. And I remember that because like there was like a window jumping on customs, and I'd always try to jump, turn my character to the left because my gun would be pointed down, and shoot the bottom of the window and slide in the window to the left. Like I would always try and nail that, and I'd never nail it. But your gun was down. So I don't know why they brought the gun back up. I don't know if it's spaghetti code and it was an accident, but so it's now back to timing based for the boost jump, and your gun is up, and you can completely negate inertia. So this is the meta now. This is what you can do. You can be, okay, so like, you know how like the free look door thing, or even like in labs, if we're just a simple 90-degree angle, you're running along a hall and 90 degrees, yeah, you can jump out, turn, you can pre-fire it, and then the actual nanosecond your toes touch the ground, you can hit A, jump again, and return back the original direction you were coming from and land back behind the original wall you peaked.
I'm not convinced that's new either.
That is new. I have never seen that. Some of the like level like 63 guys who are already level 60 are being like, yo, when the hell did this happen? And they're starting to use it.
I recall being able to do something similar, not as bad as I saw like in OnePic's video and stuff, but I recall being able to, sometimes I used to just kind of hop back and forth. It wasn't from full sprint, but there was something like that. What I saw looked like a magnified version of something that had been in the game.
Yeah, maybe it's just worse, but it's definitely worse, and it's bad because you can get a full length boost jump basically.
Well, yeah. So if you've watched any of my like factory videos from back in the day, the thing that I used to do that I never saw anybody do, that I'm sure probably everybody does now, not because of me, just because it's the evolution of fucking mechanics. But I used to run up to the third floor of factory and just boost jump sideways until like my shoulder hit the wall, and that would be whoop, boom.
Yeah.
That was my one tap. It'd just be top. I have so many clips of me doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, like it.
But it definitely nothing like that happened since inertia. Like that's the like that's
well the jump backwards is what you're talking about.
That's what I'm saying is that like nothing like that has been in the game that bad since they added the inertia. Like this is currently the like if you don't want inertia, use this. Like you can jump. I mean, it's like you would fall to the ground. You would hit the ground, and if you tried to go back the other direction, bro, with 30 kilos of gear, you are falling over. There is no universe, so it's
I don't think inertia ever did anything really to jumping though.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it did. When you jump, dude, you like hit the ground and you slow down, and then you're like, ugh, and then you're like, okay, you climb back up to full speed.
Okay, yeah. So
you can still change jumps.
I guess what I was thinking about was people had said, including Battle State, that like inertia was going to fix b-hopping.
Yeah,
and it never did.
No, correct. It never fixed the fact that you could boost jump and chain jumps. Yeah, correct.
Yeah,
correct.
As long as you were fucking like tapping jump, basically like when you were landing, you didn't have that like thud slow down.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, if you just jump and land, you slow down and you pick back up. If you timed it right, you could continue to jump. But now, I mean, you can just like, it's awful. It's and that's why I kind of at least on this particular. That's why I kind of agree with One Peg, or at least I'm hoping it's like, yo, they're going to patch this out soon, because it seems to stand completely in the face of every other change they've made to movement recently. Like they've added inertia, they've tinkered with inertia, they've reduced the amount of stamina that you have, they reduced the threshold for being overweight. Like I could list off 10 to 15 changes in the past 2 wipes that have specifically been designed to slow you down. And this is like boost jump while shooting incredibly accurately with point fire, return back to your original angle, all at off angles, right? Like if somebody's holding a corner head height and pre-firing, you jump over their bullets, you land, you jump back over their bullets, and you just shoot them like crazy accurately. So I really, really hope that they patch it out. I really hope. And to be honest with you, the guys, the Giga Chads that I've seen like making videos about it, even they're like, this is stupid. You know what I mean? They're like, I hate this. They're just of a different mindset that they're going to use absolutely every single thing at their disposal to win a fight.
Willers would be the one jumping around on the fucking top of the Epcot ball.
Yeah.
And he was like, this is fucking lame, and I wish they'd fix it.
Exactly. And so all the guys, at least that I've talked to, have been like, yeah, this is lame. So like, no, that's the other part of why I hope they patch it. Literally nobody likes it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, of course, they're not literally nobody. Of course, there are the people that have always wanted Tarkov to basically just be Call of Duty or a version of an incredibly fast-paced shooter. Some of them are like it because it's fun and it's arcadey. And I don't even care. Like, yeah, I get it. I get why you'd want arcadey Tarkov. You know what I mean? But it's like, no one that I've talked to that plays Tarkov, whether they're a rat, whether they're a Chad, whether they're a casual, whether they're an experienced player, whether they're level 62 or level 26, nobody I've talked to have been like, I like this. You know what I mean? So it seems to completely stand against the ethos of the game, completely stand in the face of everything that they've done. So it would make sense to me if it was just some spaghetti code thing and like jump version 26.7.3 was the current version and the patch included jump version 23, and so it was an old version of jump.exe and they just need to update it. I don't know.
I never used to use the boost jumping or bunny hopping, whatever you want to call it. I never used it in combat, but it was actually fun for me, for my ADD brain, in the same way that in CS:GO.
Yeah.
Literally everybody, when the round starts, because you have this setup thing, everybody pulls out the knife and they're flipping the knife while they're doing fucking bee hopping. And if it's, you're waiting for the timings of the maps, so the enemies can't be here until so a lot of times you'll be sitting there and you're on defense and you're just in the corner hallway flipping your knife around, talking to your friends, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, they're executing B, and then it's like, okay, cool, you get into your fucking spot. So it's that element of
you just boost jump around and then you get into a fight and you'd be like hunkered down like normal. I
mean, or I could just run straight through the woods from my spawn to the fucking dorms, and I know I'm not going to see anybody. At least I can just hit spacebar, and it's like a little mini game on the way. It's like when you go to Google Chrome and if you don't have internet,
the little dinosaur
spacebar, the little dinosaur jumping game. It's like that. Give me something to do while I can't do fucking anything.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is that's why I think
they need to give us a ball and a paddle, or like a fucking what's
yo-yo,
it called? Yo-yo, just to like run around, like
put it in one of the special slots and bind it. That would be nuts.
Can you imagine how sick the animation would be? If Kiba did the animation for that, and you gave me some fucking swag golden
yo-yo.
That should, you fucking Prestige, give me a fucking golden Tarkov yo-yo and I'll play the game.
Hilarious.
Just because I could do something other than die and gear up.
And that's why last swipe I thought it was great. It was like the tamest version of the B-hop boost jump, but it was still in the game. But nobody really, it wasn't nearly as exploitative as what we have right now. And then the other movement thing, which you probably saw in One Peg's video too, is the Dolphin Dive. Have you seen that?
Yeah, everybody's complaining about the Dolphin Dive. That's the best dolphin dive that the game's ever seen. Back in the day, you used to prone out and your hitbox would go down by 2 feet. And you prone out and your hitbox would go, and then you were invincible. So fuck off to anybody who's like, this is the worst thing the game has ever seen.
Hey,
how to tell me that you've been playing the game for 6 months without telling me?
It doesn't have to be the worst thing the game's ever seen to be toxic and gross.
It looks completely fucking broken and busted. And I just saw 2 people say it's the worst thing. I'm like, oh, is it?
Oh, baby, let me tell you.
I walked up Customs Hill both ways barefoot in the snow when I was young, like you, kid.
Before there was an interchange. I mean, it's hilarious to see in the game. It's so funny because you jump and then at jump height, you go prone, but you go prone forward. And so you dive forward and then you can like hit something and end up back on your feet. But it only happens for the other person. On your screen, what you see is you just jump.
Yeah, I had to see your video to know, because one peg had his whole like 15-minute video and he showed one very dark version of it.
Yeah.
But otherwise he was using the stance thing.
Yeah, to show like
and I'm like, I wasn't convinced for the first 14 minutes that it wasn't just the stance thing not showing your. And then he showed a dark, and I'm like, oh fuck. But then I watched your video and it was fucking hilarious.
You freaking Valiant.
When he like landed on his crotch and you hear the dude, I'm like, oh, his pelvis.
But he broke his legs. Dude. He landed like on his neck, but his legs
shattered his fucking tailbone or something, dude.
So funny. Now I've definitely seen clips of like people like on labs, like Bikizi tweeted some tips where like people were, or some clips.
Some tips?
Here's
how you do it.
Some clips on labs where people like running and then like doing it, but they would do it like down a flight of stairs. So they were like 3 feet off the ground, prone down a flight of stairs, full autoing an HK, and Bikizi's just like shooting everywhere, and then he dies, and he's like, "What the hell?" Like I've seen some clips. I bet it's gonna be like the meta on labs. Like I bet 8 out of 10 labs raids, you'll see that animation before you die. But
the next iteration of cheats is going to turn that into a macro.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
So you press a button, and every time you get shot, you instantly are like bunny fucking thrown out in the fucking air.
Yeah. So that is hilarious and most definitely a bug, and most definitely will get patched out. Now soon, who knows? But it'll get patched.
All we need to do is make tutorial videos for everybody, and then that'll put pressure on the developers.
Oh, it's funny. So yeah, so that's Tarkov. The bee hopping is back. The movement's weird. There's a bug, cheaters. Other than that, once again, after 76 minutes of malding, I really am having fun playing the game. And
I was watching your video, and I literally said to chat, like, it's no wonder Jesse's having fun playing the game. You're just fucking around with your homies.
100%.
Like, experience all of that thing, but by yourself.
Yeah, no. I mean, that's what I said. It wouldn't
be fun.
That's what I said last week. I was like, the reason that I can still play this game and you can't is because I'm a duo guy. It's because, like, I play with Velian and Seal and these guys that are just, like, absolute. We just goof. You know what I mean? We're just having fun. We're doing, like, crazy VoIP encounters. I've had so many quests progressed through VoIP. I told you about the guy that I was like on reserve, and I was like, yo, what would it take to let you, let me shoot you in the head? Yesterday, one of my least favorite quests is the like get a fracture and then wait 30 seconds to get a tremor and then kill 2 PMCs with headshots. Like, I hate that quest.
I saw that. Was that your buddy in factory, or was that a random?
That was a random. So that was like,
did you pick up his dog tag and invite him afterwards?
Yeah. Nice. So what we did was like, I was like, they killed a bunch of people, and then I was just like, hey boys, how we doing? And they were like, and I was like, I gotta get a tremor headshot. What did you say? One of you guys lets me shoot you in the head. And then one guy goes, yo, keep talking. I think I know your voice. And I was like, no, dude, my name is Valiant or whatever. I said something. He was like, no shot, that's Jesse. So I was like, all right, boys. So we all got up in the office, and I was like, listen, you guys seem chill. I was like, I got this freaking tremor. I need to shoot one of you in the face.
You're not a real fan unless you...
Yeah. I was like, I'll bring your kit back, okay? And the one guy was like, yeah. And so then I upgraded his kit. I brought him a class 6 armor, a helmet with a face shield. I had him invite me. So he invited me with the other original buddy, 2 more guys. So we were 4-manning factory. Okay. We run into
a bunch of cheaters.
We run into 2 nakeds with double barrels. Those guys kill half the squad. The only guys that are left are me and the guy I brought the kit for. I loot everybody. I loot their friends. I min-max the loot. I'm unloading his friend's ammo so that he can get his friend's ammo and give it back to him. I looted the double barrel guys. I looted everything. Tagilla swings the corner, kills us both. I was like, what the hell, dude? Yeah. Today I had Velian convince people that he was going to hatchet fight them. And then when they'd come out, I'd shoot him in the head with the thermal M1A for test drive. Like, dude, it was just so... The VoIP memes have been so good, dude.
Oh my God, you betray him. Toxic. You are the problem. You need to be the change you want to be in the world.
I love it. So you're 100% right. It is just me goofing off with my homies, and I've played long enough to just be proficient enough to progress. And so I'm level 43. I've done almost all the Kappa quests. I've got 13 million rubles, and I'm just vibing. You know what I mean? We're just like having fun, shooting people.
Well, you're not vibing.
Raids. No, I'm not. Well, vibing.
Vibing is
vibing. I'm vibing. He's vibing.
Fucking identity theft. Holy shit, dude.
Also, I'm going to give you an update every week just for the memes. We are 350 raids into the wipe, and I have yet to be in a raid where the new scav bosses spawned. I've never come across them dead. I've never killed them. I've never died to them. I've never found them on my scav. I'm 350 raids in and about 100 scav raids in. I almost exclusively play the 4 maps they spawn. I have not seen them. Like people say, like I died to a big pipe.
You can't farm them if they're not in the game.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Get fucked, kid.
Exactly. So I'm like, at this point, I'm like, now how long can it go? Can I make it the whole wipe without seeing one of the like premier new pieces of content that came to this freaking patch? Like, come on. And I've got the quest. It's one of the last quests I need for the collector. I know when I finally find him, I'm gonna die. It's gonna be ridiculous.
Good luck.
Yeah. So, okay. So last Tarkov related thing. Okay. I had this idea. I'm sure I'm not the only one that's had the idea, and I can't execute on it because I'm dumb. Have you played BattleBit yet or Polygon?
I've seen it. I don't know. Polygon's
they're basically
was a good fucking website for a while, but that is no longer.
They're both. I haven't played either of them, but I've watched some gameplay, so I don't mean to do any disservices here in my description. But they're basically essentially low poly, high performing versions of a Battlefield, right? It's like those objective based shooters. And because they don't have to use really any processing power on graphics, they can put everything into graphics or animation. They can put everything into like gunplay.
Microtransactions.
Yeah. Into gunplay, making it sure it's crisp, clean, and snappy. And the servers running at like incredibly high tick rates. You know what I mean? Like that's where everything goes. Give me low poly Tarkov that's open world. Bro.
Or just Tarkov.
No, give it to me open world. Because like we were having this conversation we've had a million times, you know what I mean? It was like, Gib open world, and we were talking about how like it would help with spawns and it would help with extract camping, it would help with this. And
it's still the best episode we've ever done.
The best episode is the open world one. And we were like, and I was doing Shooterborn in Heaven, so I was like up on top, I was camping RUAF to get killed, and I looked down the road and I was like, what if we could just keep going down that? And I was like, all this stuff. And then I was like, holy cow. The one thing everybody says is there's no way the servers can handle it. Like there's no way it's going to be 11 FPS. The DC thing's going to be bad. And I was like, give me low poly Tarkov. If I was in game dev, if I had the time, dude, I would make some giant open world map. I would model it, everything after that. Traders, quests, lots of cool gunplay, snappy, high performing servers.
For the performance? Because like, if anybody was capable of doing that, they could just do high poly Tarkov. Like, the only reason why Tarkov doesn't perform well is not because the graphics are good.
Well, no, correct. But it would be...
So if you want someone to make a game from the ground up, you might as well just say, make a better Tarkov.
No, but it lowers development time. Additionally, it just allows for more resources to go to like servers and stuff like that. I mean, it's why those games are doing it and performing well. You know what I mean? Like, because you could argue the same thing for them, right?
They're probably more competent and or have more experience and or don't have 5 years of tech debt. And
yeah, well,
I'm just saying, if we wanted anybody to start over right now and to have Tarkov be, open world Tarkov, I'm totally with you. I think BattleBit's sick. I'm just saying.
No, but I'm saying
that the poly count is not what's keeping Tarkov from being good, or what's making the dev time as much.
Yeah, but if it like the other part of that is exactly if it wasn't, if you wanted to do high poly Tarkov over like it all ends up the same. Like that's where we are with AAA games now. Is they end up marketed way too early, pushed back in development. I mean, like they all like, yeah, sure, but they all end up exactly the same. They all end up, every DayZ game, every game that was supposed to kill DayZ fell to the exact same thing. Crazy good marketing, early access, pushback, and then you just end up 2 years in with the same thing. The tech debt, the this, that, and the other. Like, you know what I mean? Like we've talked about this before. Like, a
lot of those games were beautiful and they ran fantastic.
Yeah, I guess.
A lot of them were like that, but usually there's just one that wins, right? Like PUBG, and then was the only one, and then Fortnite came out and it just did better.
Yeah. Well, give it to me, damn it. Whatever it is, I don't care. Like, that's what I'm saying. Dude. I'm saying give me the essence of Tarkov open world, but something that you could bang out in a year. Sacrifice whatever you need to sacrifice. If it's the graphics, if it's the visuals, whatever.
Yeah,
you know
it's going to be on your
like,
Android device.
Yeah.
Coming soon. Free with microtransactions.
That was another thing. What was that? It was called Arena Breakout. Did you see that? So like everyone was like, Arena? Like, is this a Tarkov thing? It wasn't. But it was a game called Arena Breakout. I mean, it was this insanely high fidelity, ultra realistic trailer. And it was one of the coolest trailers I've ever seen for a video game, dude. And it was because it was so Tarkov-like. It was from the perspective, not all of it, but a lot of it was from the perspective of the gun. So the opening shot of the trailer is a guy, it's on the floor looking up, and a guy walks up and he picks up a gun. And it's like the GoPro's mounted on the barrel of the gun, pointing back at the... So you see the guy pick it up and like check it out and check the chamber, and now he uses this gun. I just pictured
the googly eyes from Everything Everywhere
on
the gun.
Oh my God, yes.
Sorry, sorry.
And then they move up and they take contact. Boom, boom, boom. The guy dies, and one of his little squad mates, boom, 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 runs out of ammo. So then the camera, it goes, snaps back to camera gun view. He picks up the gun. He clears the building, does that, boom, 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 kills the guy that they took contact with. Then somebody kills him. He takes the gun. So you're like,
does the gun fall on the ground and you just see like the guy's legs as he's walking?
Yeah. And so you're like, you're in this
idea.
Yeah. So you're in this thing. You're already in this like Tarkov kind of zone where you're like, holy cow, like this zone, this world, it's like scavenge, loot, take other people's stuff. You're like, this is sick. And then you see the guy, the last guy that picks up the gun, he's limping, he's bleeding from his leg. And in the distance, you see red extraction smoke. He's like checking his watch and he's like limping. And you're like, oh, this is so sick. Boom, he gets sniped, falls down, the gun lands again. And then like the trailer ends with another set of footsteps coming up to pick up the gun. And you're like, what is this, dude? It's so sick.
It's probably an infinite side-scrolling runner like Flappy Bird.
It's a mobile game. It looks. Then they did another gameplay trailer, and it's just PUBG with new skin on. Like it's PUBG Mobile. It looks. It's a battle royale. It looks.
Well, that's better than I thought,
dude. And everybody was so let down. People were doing videos like, this is the best trailer for a first-person shooter we've seen in so long, and it's just like, and it could be a cool mobile game. I'm not trying to, but it was just like, it really led you to believe it was going to be this like PC first person crazy good high fidelity game, and it was just
I thought it was one of the ads that you used to see on Facebook, and you probably see now on like Instagram or TikTok or whatever, where it's like the best, most addicting puzzle game, and you see like there's this weird like almost tower with like gems in the upper right hand corner, lava in the upper left hand corner, and you like pull down a lever and then the lava comes down and then
I know
melts the thing.
Exactly what you're talking about.
I got debated by that like 7 years ago and installed one of the games, and the game was like an infinite runner where you just like tap to go left and right and jump, and it's like, where's the puzzle game from the advertisement? They totally fucking lie to you.
It's insane.
Oh no, you know what? It wasn't like that. It was like Bejeweled. You know those games where it's just like swipe to match the three colors? That's what every one of those games is, one of those.
Yeah.
It's all fucking not Candy Crush. They're all a reskin of Candy Crush.
Yep.
And I get let down because I'm like, oh my God, imagine how sick these puzzles could be if it's like this whole they reminded me of the old, remember the old like top down, it's like a parking lot.
Oh,
and you need to like drag the cars to get the one car out. I thought it was going to be similar to that. I'm like, oh, I need a new puzzle game, perfect for when you're sitting on the toilet or whatever. And it was like, get you baited. It's Candy Crush. Fuck you.
Yep. So, I don't know. I just want like BattleBit, but Tarkov. I want.
What are the chances you think the BattleBit devs will make another game mode? Because I mean, that's trivial. The easy thing is to make a game mode when you have the mechanics and the movement and the guns and the sound and everything.
For sure. I I guess, yeah. I don't know anything about game design, so maybe the poly count isn't as big of a deal as I thought. The spirit of what I want is somebody.
It is a little bit. You're like half right.
I want somebody to be able to execute on the vision, like the true essence of what Tarkov wants to be, even if it means sacrificing other things. And like
Call of Duty Warzone.
In my the DMZ mode. In my little peanut brain, that makes sense. I was like, I will trade fidelity for the ability to like hop into an open world map with rotating spawns and extracts, just like the cycle. It's big. It's cool. It makes sense. It has these really different feeling zones. It's PvP. It's PvE. There's tasks. I've always wanted a Daisy with an offline stash. That was the hideout. This, that, the other, all this stuff. Like
Tarkov, isn't that the cycle?
Tarkov, yes, but
you just want like non-Halo guns.
No. It's the cycle. We could get into that. The cycle really didn't touch on the same Tarkov-esque thing for me with all of it, really, with like the way I liked the cycle, and I think what it would try to do, it executed well, but like the gunplay, the way armor works, the way damage and ballistics work, the way, looting works, the way the tasks work. I don't know. It felt different, but they just chose a different direction, and I like this direction better. You know what I mean? And so I just
nobody does a really good close to Tarkov version with all of those little things that are fucking just wrong and kind of suck. Yeah. And like, oh man.
I just like want somebody to execute.
I can't handle that
on that vision as like a baseline, because the general consensus is like Tarkov, like one of the reasons why it's surviving these like huge woes is that it's just the only one that's really executing at this level, this concept. You know what I mean? Like,
it kind of invented it.
Yes, for sure.
And nobody's been able to match it.
Nobody was able to match the vibe of it. Some games, like Hunt is a great example of another game that would be really close to Tarkov, that is objectively, as objectively can be, a really good game and a really well-made game that just doesn't scratch the same itch, which is a subjective thing, but like here's
that has to do with looting and the economy.
Yeah,
because if the items, like, here's the thing, you can't just add it to like Hunt, because there's no concept of like picking up gear, bringing it to your inventory, having some of them used for quests, for crafts, for selling. Like, that is a massive system.
100%.
It's not just a survival shooter hardcore game with open world. It's one with an economy.
That's what I'm saying, though, is that like the cycle did some things really well and some things just felt like it didn't hit the mark. Hunt did some things really well. And those games are not games trying to be the better version of Tarkov. Like, Hunt is a game that came out forever ago. They just had their own vision. It shares some similarities, and Hunt is a really good game. But that's what I'm saying, is that like Tarkov definitely did in a way invent this genre. And I just like, I want somebody to be able to come and like give us what it could feel like when it's all together with the open world, with the, I don't know, man.
Well, if they do that, then it doesn't matter what Tarkov would feel like, because we'd all just be playing that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Of course, easier said than done. I'm not saying
have been.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it's like, oh yeah, somebody just whipped together a low poly, perfectly executed Tarkov. I'm not saying it's simple, but I'm just saying like, I would love to stick somebody on it where like, sacrifice these things. They don't have to be as big of a deal.
Give me fucking stick figure. Like, whenever you see the aimbot or the wall hack videos and all you see is the stick figure through the roll, give me stick figure only.
Give me that.
If you could get out a proof of concept that I could play.
Exactly. If I could play a Tarkov style game with 120, with super fast tick rate servers, with really on the ball netcode built around Steam Audio, not having Steam Audio, something being added later, with quests and looting and PvE and stuff like that, like as a proof of concept, holy Jesus, that would be so
totally
sick.
Agree. But unfortunately, we live in a world where people aren't rational. So they couldn't advertise. Like, you need to build hype.
100%.
You can't advertise a game that looks like dog shit. Think about all the people that totally were like, BattleBit, not playing it. It looks like Minecraft.
100%. A lot of
now
people.
imagine not as good as that, or even equivalent to that. That was just objectively a better game with better gunplay that didn't have really cool buff Russian operators.
No, you're so
and
right.
people would just ignore it, and it would
You're
probably flop because of it, which is sad.
You're so right. You're so right. I mean, that's where we are with gaming, right? Is that like the ad spend and the marketing is what makes all the money. You know what I mean? Like, I'd love to see the stat of like how much of Battlefield 2042's total money made was made before the launch of the game. You know, and it was probably a lot.
Pre-orders,
100%.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like if it was like 75% of all the money that game's made to date was made before, if that's the stats we're talking about, it's like, well, of course, then marketing is going to be the most important thing, and gameplay isn't. So yeah, I don't know. It was just a thought I had where I was like, dude, I need to DM the BattleBit developers and be like, yo, take all your maps, stitch them together, and let's work on an economy for the game, and let's do this. Let's do low poly Tarkov.
I mean, maybe they're working on it.
Dude, who knows?
Maybe they're not at all, and I'm getting everybody's fucking hopes up.
Probably.
I would love that, dude. People are like, what would it take? What features would it take for you to get back into Tarkov? I'm like, no features. Like, yeah, I would have to not love Trackmania, and all of the issues that I've talked about in Ad Infinitum and all the videos would have to be fixed. Yep. But if BattleBit came out tomorrow with everything that I wanted from Tarkov, and it was stable and it had fucking Minecraft graphics, but the optics were dope like they are,
yeah,
and the ballistics was like it is, a simplified but still cool system and everything like that, I'd be fucking all for it. I'd be totally down.
Yep. But yeah. So yeah, I don't know. That's all I got.
I shouldn't be out of breath, but I'm out of breath. It's probably,
dude, always
indicative.
I always, so we end the podcast and I just like go drink a bottle of water because I'm like
So last time we talked about me thinking about like doing React content.
Oh,
and
yeah.
One of the things I just thought about, which would be like kind of the best of both worlds, was I should probably just ask, like, whenever people are like, did you see this new video? Did you see this? And I'm like, fuck no, because I know it'll just be annoying. I should just react to the Tarkov videos that people make.
Bro. Yeah.
Because I wouldn't be shitting on people.
Yeah.
It would be like when I watch a one-peg video, which I did today. I'm like, this should be my first episode. Now, granted, I spent most of it eating and not actually talking. But, like, I could be like, here's where he's wrong. Here's where he's wrong. Here's where I agree with him. Here's where he's right. You know, and then because there's no way I'm going to do a fucking Tarkov science video. I'm not going to talk about the state of Tarkov. I could, like, no.
Yeah.
But I'll react and comment on.
Yeah.
And if the video is fucking phenomenal, I'll point that out.
Yep.
Unfortunately, most of the videos I see that go into any amount of in-depth about the way the game works or the mechanics or whatever, it usually is like, it's always kind of close. Although a couple of like Rangar videos and a few other people, I'm like, sick, good job.
Yeah.
Like Airwing Marines video, like, yes. I'm like, sick, someone did it right, but most people don't do it right.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe I'll give that a try.
You should. That would be gold content. That would...
One Peg just said, so what you're saying is you're going to agree with the entire video. Oh,
100%. Have you watched...
I had to stop commenting and eat my chicken fingers, One Peg. That's what...
Have you watched Gigabeef's video on open world? Like what open world could look like when he went around and actually like looked like on customs, you can see woods or whatever, and he like pieced together the map. That was a good video. That'd be worth to.
Interesting. Now, was it just like... I'm trying to figure out like what I would react to.
Yeah, I mean, it was less mechanically driven, like about like.
It was more of just like, let's look at the map and figure out how things are going to be connected.
And it shows how over the years they've added things. Like you used to not be able to see this from here, and so they're like giving us more clues as to like what, like you can see Scav Island from Lighthouse and stuff like that. Like now you're starting to be able to piece together. It's just a good video.
That would be an interesting one. I don't think I'd have much to fucking say. I want to be able to like provide either
or tear it apart.
Some critical feedback, and by critical I mean like not necessarily negative, but in terms of like you know what I mean, right? In 100%. Terms of either being like, let me expand on the technical reasons behind this, and let
or
me,
like maybe you didn't understand that
here's
this
why
is how
One Peg's an
works.
idiot.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll fucking
you
do that,
dude.
I'll probably get more views on all my videos. I'll literally just watch someone else's fucking 30-minute video. I'll talk about it and make it 45 minutes long, and I'll probably get six-figure views.
Yeah. You need
more than my
title of videos like "They got it wrong," ... and then the name of the original video. Like even if you agree with it, you know what I mean?
One Peg was wrong, Volume 1, and then Veritas reacts to all the cheaters. Cheating is a big problem in Tarkov, and
yeah. Oh god.
One Peg, I was just commenting on how my fucking AI video, which is, in my honest opinion, one of the best fucking Tarkov videos in terms of like breaking something down, being critical, but also talking about the devs and blah, blah, blah. It doesn't have 100,000 videos. And the video you made like fucking 8 hours ago, just talking about the shit we've all known about cheaters, has 125,000, and how you just make me sad. One Peg is just a magnifying glass, and I'm the ant. That's a bad metaphor. I'm the person watching the kid burn the ants with the magnifying glass, and I'm sad.
While you're building an ant farm?
Yeah, while I have I'm walking my ant on like a leash, and I'm like, oh. That metaphor tracks.
Yeah. One Peg, how could you, bro?
Wait, now I forget. You had like a simile in your video on like the dolphin diving that I had to pause the video, and I was like triggered because it was the worst but still most hilarious thing. What was it? Oh God.
What did I say?
I don't remember. Somebody has to know.
Was it in the highlight video that I put out today?
It was, yeah, in your video. I don't know if it was today, but it was, the hot pocket in the microwave. Yeah. So okay, so your teammate got shot, I think, by a scab.
He shot a scab, and then the scab was like, ah!
The scab was like, ah! And you said it was as if you were making a hot pocket in the microwave. And what everybody thought you were gonna say was, and then you put the magma hot pocket in your mouth and it burnt your mouth. You said, and then someone creeped up behind you and startled you. I was like, wait, what the fuck, dude? You went one way and then you just swerved the other way, and you ruined my fucking day.
Dude, hell yeah. Hell yeah, dude.
Like, you were sitting there making a fucking hot pocket is the one thing known for literally burning your mouth. You're like, you standing there in front of your microwave making a hot pocket, and then someone comes up and startles you. I was like, wait, hold up. I squirted out my ketchup packet like on my desk. I was like, what the fuck did
dude, because it was a scream of scare, not a scream of pain. It was a startled
So you should have just said, it's like you were doing literally any other activity.
You gotta keep them on the toes. You gotta keep them on your toes.
You were standing in front of your microwave making lasagna.
Nah, dude.
And your friend came up. That would made more sense.
No.
You are the debate face incarnate.
Hell yeah.
Were you going down the route of burning your mouth, but then you realized that was a bad... You just said hot pocket?
I mean, something pizza related is bound to come up in my brain.
I can't believe you've done this.
I can't believe you've done this.
I'm fully convinced that with a straight face, you are just lying to me.
No.
To hurt me.
No. That's why I just laughed so hard, because when you said, I thought you were going to say you burned your mouth, that was the first time that thought had entered my brain.
You're the ultimate troll. This is the ultimate. If you want to fucking troll me, you have to this is the longest con ever. Rather than come and tell me that I should self-harm in Twitch chat like I've been getting for fucking weeks now.
Yeah.
Instead, you take 3 years to befriend me, make me fully 100% trust you, just so you can shatter that trust with a fucking Hot Pocket
reference. Yeah.
And now Jesse's never going to talk to me ever again.
This is the final episode of the podcast, boys.
Ha!
See you later.
He's nuts, and he just disconnects, and that's the fucking... Thanks, everybody. Thanks for being a fan of the Creamcast. It's now over because I no longer have a friend in Jesse Kazam. I got to throw out all my Hot Pockets because they're ruined.
No.
I'm going to constantly be like... looking behind me, fucking horrified.
Dude,
someone's gonna jump scare me.
That's how the story ends. After this episode, you make a hot pocket, you turn on, I'm there, and I stab you, and then it's just like, that was the longest con ever.
Oh God, can you imagine? But you'd have to be live streaming it. You'd be like, with your camera, like, Chad, I'm about to get him. Chad. Wait, where is it? I had a big knife back there somewhere.
Jesus.
And then it fell. I had opened up a box and all I had was this giant, like, paracord knife, and I was like on stream, like whoosh, pulled out this giant thing to like open
that's
a.
not
I think
a
it was
knife.
like, I think it was like fruit snacks. Unironically, I couldn't. You ever just get the one thing with fruit snacks that you're like, you can't open it?
100%.
I had like an 8-inch blade for.
Gotta get those fruit snacks, bro.
Now I'm scared that my knife is missing.
You're just gonna step on it.
Because either way, my knife has it. My wife has it, or my cat has it, and those are the only two things more horrifying than you're behind me while I'm at the microwave. Because I stand in front of the microwave, and I just watch that shit spin. I'm sure if I get cancer, it's gonna be the tip of my nose cancer because I just sit there and I watch.
No shot. Do you really? I can't, bro.
I ain't afraid of microwaves. I'm living 5G. I got one of them there. Okay, one last thing before we're done. The best fucking YouTube channel. I found a new YouTube channel, and it's fucking phenomenal. It used to be called All Gas, No Brakes, but the guy got completely cucked by like his MCN or whatever he had, and they totally like pushed him out of his own thing.
Andrew Callahan?
Channel 5?
Yeah. That's the name of the guy.
Channel
Andrew Callahan.
fucking 5.
Channel 5, yeah.
Yes. Dude, it's so and I found out about him from watching Asmongold like reacts to a bunch of his videos. He is the fucking best, dude.
Channel 5 with Andrew Callahan. Yep. He was
I actually haven't even subscribed to him yet because I was just watching. I have like 5 tabs open of all those videos that I need to watch.
He was on Hot Ones recently. You ever watch Hot Ones?
Yeah, Hot Ones is another one of those channels that was started by someone else and then pushed out the original guy. No. Allegedly. Or something like that, right?
No, it's always been Sean Evans.
Oh, is he still there?
Yeah.
Maybe I misunderstood.
What's rough about that, like, is you just know, is that it's Complex owns the YouTube channel First We Feast. So like the company Complex owns First We Feast and a bunch of other YouTube channels, and then Hot Ones is just one of the shows on the YouTube channel First We Feast, and it's brutal because you know that like 90% of the views on that channel are Hot Ones, but they're under, I'm sure, whatever contract.
And he probably gets with the whole Channel 5 thing, he was getting paid like 40 grand a year and getting millions and millions of views because he signed up when he was like 21. 100%. It's a fucking terrible.
I've wondered that about Hot Ones because they're a Complex show. I've wondered that.
That's what Asmongold was talking about that when he did one of the reacts videos.
Yeah.
He's basically referenced how like a similar thing happened where the guy was getting fucked over by whatever. Yeah. So I don't know. Allegedly, don't sue me or whatever.
But yeah,
I had a dream I met Johnny Depp. It had to have been from because I had a dream I was at like a shop and Johnny Depp came over and said something to me. He like joked, and then I told him about my guitar, and he was like, "Oh, that's fucking cool." Like, I've been watching too much fucking Johnny Depp.
Yep, Amber
Heard bullshit. Anyway, sorry, that was the one last thing before we stop. Was like 4 last things.
I love it. There's so many poggers things to talk about. But yeah, so that's it. I don't know. I never know how to end these things. That's it. Do what you want. Have fun. Don't yell at me or Veritas in our chats for anything that we don't know.
Stay off my lawn.
Yeah. But thank you guys for hanging. Thanks for being here. Dude, the viewership was pretty average we're in that new category, right?
We're in the fucking podcasting and like,
hell yeah.
What's it called? Talk shows and podcasts or whatever
category.
Yeah. So fuck that guy who's told us that we gotta be in Tarkov category.
And we talked about Tarkov more this week than last week.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for hanging. Thanks for supporting the channel. The love on the YouTube has been huge. Same with like the audio podcast and stuff like that. So thank you guys for hanging. This will be live early next week, and we'll definitely see you on the next one.